Going to start with a clap so we can sync up all the files later on for video editing purposes. Hello, Jay. It's a Sunday
Hi.
evening or afternoon, I guess, for you.
Yes,
How's it going with you?
it's going good. Yeah, excited for today and what we're gonna make.
Mm. And any other work you want to share in your life? You're a busy person.
Well, I started streaming recently on my own too. You can find me on Twitch or YouTube. It goes by the name FPSer. FPSer Dev. Yeah.
FPS
And
or
I just stream Roblox content. So I make games on Roblox, like live, whatever projects that I'm working on, side projects.
hmm follow Jay on YouTube and Twitch.
Yeah. And I do a little bit more in depth, and I try to avoid using AI there so I can hone my, foundational skills a bit more.
Nice. And is this the I've sent you on WhatsApp? Is this the username or the handle that I should post or
Hold on. Yeah. Oh, FPSR.
FPS
PSR dev. There.
FPSR? So at that on both places should work.
Yeah, let me just check. Yep, both of them should work.
Great. Um, okay. So I'm gonna put that up now, and we're gonna put that up right here on the screen.
hmm
So if people want to follow Jay for some awesome Roblox Studio content, what is this for? Like, is this for beginners? Is it more for advanced? What type of stuff do you do?
Well, I'm just working on my projects in this, and sometimes people come in and they share their games or, whatever they're making. And sometimes I'm able to help them out by showing them something new that they didn't know. And sometimes they're able to help me out because, yeah, I don't know everything, right? So yeah, I'm always learning, and I feel like this is a good way to showcase just what I can do in
All
general.
right.
And also, I try to avoid using AI in this to mainly practice my technical skills as well. So I go pretty much. These are like more advanced stuff that I do. The coding that I do on there is advanced, and I explain it very well. I have a whiteboard on my left side, which I draw on. Maybe if I'm doing like some kind of mathematics or something that's required in the uh,
Nice.
code.
I
Yeah,
used to, I used to also have that actually in my old apartment.
I see.
Yeah, it's really nice to have that, to be able to get away from the computer, be able to use your hands and think. It really helps. It
Yeah,
also kind
yeah,
of feels kind of nice.
yeah.
So
Of course.
that's cool. All right, so let's begin. We don't want to do too long of a stream, so hopefully we'll go on for about 40 minutes. So I'll do an official introduction. In this video, Jay and I will be making Roblox games, but it will be themed using something that is very similar to or rhymes with the, let's say, Rokemon. I don't know what that is, so that we don't get into trouble by this company, but it's a very popular game, as you know. And so we are going to be inspired by this concept that started when I was maybe 7, 8 years old. I remember in the late 90s. Jay, you didn't even exist back then, but I remember when it came out, Pokemon cards. It's Pokemon, and spoiler alert. Game Boy Color games and um, you know video games and even cartoons and stuff like that. So it was a huge thing. So today we are going to use that as a way to learn more about Roblox Studio, as we always want to do. And we're going to start off now by just the first thing of actually creating a something mon card or Rokemon card or whatever. We should come up with a name, I guess. Well, in this universe, we're gonna call it what, Jay? These cards,
We can call them creature cards.
creature cards. There you go. Okay,
Yeah.
so this creature card is something that we are going to create now. So for this, you've already gone ahead and used a little bit of AI to create your own little card.
Yeah, exactly. I've used AI to create the assets for
Mm,
what we're going to do today. And today I'll show like how we can make a physical card as well as something on the UI. Right?
perfect.
Yeah.
And also, towards the end of this video, I can also show you, I guess maybe Jack can show you, how to also draw your own card
Mm-hmm.
using some tools. I looked those tools up so that you can use something called um, Pixelator, Pixel Maker, something, something, something. I gotta look it up. I used to use it before.
Mm-hmm.
You can draw your own card if you want to.
Right.
Time to time.
Mm-hmm.
I know that's fun for students to do. Okay, so let's begin. Let's create a creature card.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So, well, first of all, we need a part, right? If we want to make a physical card. So we're going to add a part right here. And I'm going to show the fastest way to do this, even though it's not the best way to do this, but it still looks pretty much the same, right? So I'm going to rotate this and then bring it up and make it look like, it's a card, just like this.
Mhm.
And maybe I'll make it a little bit smaller. So something like this. All right. And I'll make it thin like a card is supposed to be. And then after that, we have this part. Now we have to add an image on top of this. That's what we're trying to do. So we can add something called a decal on a part. All right. And you notice these orange lines pop up. And basically what that means is where we want the image that we add to, which surface we want it to be on. So right now it's in the front surface. And if I go back and if I look in the properties of the decal, you notice there's a property called face. And this is basically the property that dictates which surface, like which face of this part the image is going to go on. So let's say if I want to put the image in the back, so I would put it like this in the bottom side, right? Because the part is rotated 90 degrees. So let me turn it back to what it was. So that's more understandable. So now if we choose top for the decal, you'll see the outline shows up on the top. If I do it on the right, you notice it's completely disappeared, but it's over here, right on the edge, just like that. And then, yeah, so that's the face. So we're gonna go ahead and do top first. And then inside of the decal, if I go ahead and try to add something inside of the color map content.
Can we do something, Jay? Sorry to cut you off there. Can we
Mhm.
change the order of the Explorer and properties, because you're doing some drop down menus, and because you are being shown there, it's being, yeah. Maybe you can put it
This is
on the
better?
left. That's much better. Yeah. Then we
Okay.
also show people how to do that. So now we can see everything.
Yeah.
Thanks.
So yeah, basically, if you try to add anything inside this, you notice how can we add an image? There's something called the color map content, which is basically the ID of the image. So the way images work in Roblox is like you upload an image to Roblox and then Roblox stores it somewhere, and it basically gives you an ID for that image to use inside of your games, right? So to be able to add images, I'm gonna have to first save to Roblox, save the game to Roblox. Let's just call it creature cards demo, right? And I'm gonna save it. No, it takes a bit time to save, I guess. There we go.
Mm-hmm.
And now it's gonna reload.
Of course.
And now let's go ahead and click on it. Let's go to the decal. And when I click on this, now this modal pops up where we can add an image and choose the file, So we're going to go ahead and choose one of these, right? Let's go ahead with this one. So you can see it's a little bit squashed out, rotated.
Yeah.
So we're going to adjust the part for the card.
Mm-hmm.
So I think this looks pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Brumble.
And it's the first creature of the creature cards game. And we have this, but now we need a backside for the card as well, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to add another decal. And for organization purposes, I'm going to name this Brumble card. And then I'll name the decal the front. And then let's add the back now. So I'm going to add another decal. And I'm going to name it back. And inside of this, I'm going to add the back of the card. So let's go ahead and do that. So back of card. And remember, we have to change the face to button so that it goes on the back.
Oh, look at that.
And now we have a full card. But there's still something more that we can do to make this look even better. You notice this gray part, right?
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't look that good. So what we can do is we can select this part and we can just up the transparency. And now it just looks like a card, right? Oh, yeah. I added this one, but it has so the image isn't, the white background isn't taken out. So let me do that real quick. It's going to take me less than a minute. So we're going to add a new image. Hold on. So let's go ahead and put image back record. There we go. And I'm going to do the same thing again, except I'm going to change the decal for the back. So I'm going to go ahead, add image, choose file. And is this one? Yeah, this one. Now we wait a little bit. And there we go. We have the card completely ready. So this is awesome. Our first card, right? And I was able to do this because of the assets that were made and a little bit of editing. And I believe that if you make your own assets, it's going to look even better. It's going to look way better. But yeah, so now that we have this card here, we can basically duplicate this card to make the rest of the card. So I have 3 assets in total. So I'm going to go ahead and duplicate it 3 times, right? And then I'm going to add the next one. So I'm going to change the front decal for this one. So I'm going to go ahead and choose. And it's going to be this one. There we go. I'll do the same thing for this. So front. And then let's choose. And we got Glenn.
Ooh, we got Vibes Dev saying sup.
Hi, Vibes Dev.
Good to see you, Vibes Dev. We are making our own very original concept. Creator cards. Little creatures that you have to collect. I bet you've never heard that one before.
So we have these 3 cards ready, and I named them differently as well. Right. There we go.
Orb is back. Hey, Orb, did you make those cards yourself? AI? We made it.
Yeah. Well, what do you think, Orb? What do you think this was made using? You can comment that, whatever you think is the right answer, and then I'll tell you. But we have these 3 cards now, and there's a bunch of things that we can do with it, right? So let's say we're making a game where we have to, find these cards on the map and then collect them. That's a very simple type of game that a lot of beginners can make. And, they can make these assets. They can make their game look really good. And yeah, Orbit is AI, but we're able to make these assets really quickly in under 5 minutes. So that's like the advantage. But I bet if you
Exactly.
make them on your own, you can make it way better. And you can
Absolutely. And
start off with something like this for a placeholder, you
there
can
you
say,
go.
right?
Exactly. Exactly. You wanna spend the time learning this type of stuff, and then of course you can spend as much time as you want on the artwork later if you want to do it yourself.
Mhm. And so let's make a simple collection type of thing, right? You like Glimlet. Okay, so we're going to go with Glimlet and we're just going to place it on the map, right? Somewhere. And since this is a part, it has all the functions and methods of a part. So if I add a script inside of this, right? And I say touch detect, and then I access the part, so local
Remember to just like
Glimlet.
zoom in a little bit so it's easy for people to see.
Yeah, hold on.
Perfect. Thanks.
Script.parent, and then we can use the touched event to basically simulate that we touch the card and then we collect it. So for right now, we're just going to make the card disappear when we touch it, because that's what's supposed to happen when you collect a card. It disappears and then it shows up inside of your UI, and you can collect it. So let's say glimlet card.touched connect function, and we're going to check if a humanoid has touched this part. Now we haven't done this in the last 2 streams, but now we have to, because otherwise this card could be touched by anything, like the ground if we don't anchor it, or if we build a map around it and maybe an invisible part touches it. Something like that could happen, or maybe
Let's
someone.
actually, Jay, let's just go with. Is it possible to go with like a super simple version first, like anchor it, and then just do without checking if it's a humanoid,
Yeah, we can do that. So
just to show like the super simple implementation, and then we can see where it fails, and then we can go to the next one.
so we can
There you go.
basically do this, right? And it should work as it is intended to. So now if I go ahead, these 2 cards fell down, and now it's
There you
just
go.
gone, right?
There
So
you
we
go.
touched it and we kind of
Nice.
collected it, right?
Perfect.
It looks like we collected it at least.
Yeah.
Yeah. And if you don't like the touch detect, another way that you can do this is, again, like we did last time, is add a click detector. And then we're going to have to get the click detector inside of the script. So click detector is equal to script.parent.click detector. And then instead of using the touched property, we can use click detector dot mouse click connect function. And then after that, glimlet card dot destroy. So let's go ahead and see if that will work. And there we go. We collected it that way.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's go back a little bit. Just I want to just
Mhm.
recap something here. So we got our cards, was it just a part, and then you added a front and back decal, and then you selected an image that was on your computer that you created. It's just a PNG, JPEG, could be anything. Is there a different, like, which one should we go for here? Is PNG the best, or
Yeah, PNG is the best because PNG keeps the information of the transparency. So we need that. If we have like some kind of like transparent background, we need PNG for that. And yeah, and Roblox auto compresses your images down to the limit. So the ideal resolution is 1024 x 1024 for Roblox. And I believe they for decals at least you can do that. But if you want a higher resolution, card, something which is like very high resolution, you can kind of like use a trick, which is like divide this image into 4 parts, and then after upload them one by one, and then like place it like in 4, but
Makes
that's like a
sense.
little bit more
That's
for
yeah.
later.
We're
Yeah.
not. We're caring about the super simple one, which is just uploading the image. So I guess if
Hmm.
you're using PNG, if you had a character, maybe like I don't know, standing character from a game, and if you
Hmm.
had a transparent background, then you could just put the transparency on, and it would look like it's not a rectangle, but like an actual character, right, with see through sides. So
Yeah.
that's gonna
Yeah.
be kind of nice. So I guess
Hmm.
with this, you could introduce maybe like two-dimensional characters to your game, I suppose.
Hmm. Yeah, you definitely could. And imagine having like multiple, like let's say 5 images of that characters,
Hmm.
and they play in loop every time you move. So
Okay,
now we have an animated 2D character inside of the game, right?
there you go. All right, so I'm gonna like just to give you a couple of things here, just so we still um, keep building on more of the simpler side of things. So,
Hmm.
what if you were to just actually, you know what? I'm wondering something about this. Maybe we can do this already. Can you put
Hmm.
these next to each other? And what is
Yeah.
that trick that you have to do in order to fix, I think, the Z axis so that your game looks like a 2D game that it's a side scroller? Maybe you can show that and we can like collect these games like a Mario type of side scroller.
Hmm.
That could
So
be nice
that's,
too.
yeah. So the way I would have to, okay, that requires a bit of scripting.
Okay.
Yeah, for to script the camera and
You know what?
that,
Then we'll
but
come back to it later.
yeah, hold on. Let me see if I can find a really simple way to do
I thought
this.
maybe it was something where you could fix one of the things,
Hmm.
one of the
Yeah.
axes, I guess, like XYZ, right?
Yeah, you can. There should be a way. There is a
Okay.
very easy way to do this.
All
I
right.
just yeah, I just remember doing it like through scripting.
So I'm gonna stop the screen share for now on the stream, and you can have a look
Hmm.
online if you want to just look up that, so that maybe we can try it out. So
Hmm.
I'll
Hmm.
give you some time to do that now. And as you're watching the live stream, let us know if there's anything that you have on your mind. Remember, we're keeping these live streams pretty simple because we have some courses coming up and we want to be teaching pretty young kids 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 years old, 13 years old. So we can't go on like too advanced stuff, but I guess you can still ask us stuff and Jack can answer if he knows the answer to that. So I think one of the games that one of the teams made at our Roblox Jam that we had actually, you know what? Let me know about this. We ran a Roblox Jam last year in Norway, and because it was only in one place, 14 teams, 14 kids, students participated. If we ran a game jam that anyone in the world could attend, would you be interested in that or no? I think the first prize, we made the first prize a lot of Robux, I think 10,000. But we asked the students, do you want to have 10,000 Robux for the winner, one winner? Or do you want it so that everyone gets 800 Robux? And most students went for everyone getting some Robux, which was a good thing, I think, because, and then the winner still got some extra, actually. So we ran that and I think everyone enjoyed it a lot. We didn't have as many teams as we thought it would be, but if we made it so that anyone in the world win this, I guess we can try to run it again this year, maybe later towards the summer or something when people have summer break. What do you think, Jay? Would that be a good idea for a game jam?
Yeah, I think that would be a great idea. Yeah.
Hmm. Okay, so let me know if there is any simple implementation of that. Otherwise, we can just continue without it. Because one of the students that I was the one who gave the first prize. I guess I was the jury by myself, and the people that won was maybe a simpler game where it was a 2D game, basically not a 2D game, but like a they made it 2D. And I thought it was a super simple, easy game to understand that anyone could learn and do. because all the other games had so much stuff that you already needed to know before in order to, play it, which just was very difficult because you had to know exact key combinations to do certain things. That they made it super hard, and I thought that this team made it super easy. They showed you how to play the game by pressing the left arrow key and everything. So that is what ended up winning the game jam. So that's why I thought about this game for that. So, Jay, what do you think? Can we do it, or should we just stick to the regular 3D?
I think for right now, let's stick to the regular 3D
All right,
because I would have to explain a lot of things like C frames,
let's not do that
camera
then.
type, yeah, all of
Let's
that
not do
stuff.
that.
Yeah.
So let's go back there and let's actually put these close to the spawn location, so they come right after each other, and we just run through them and we kind of collect them. Yeah,
Hmm.
there you go.
So I'm gonna do this, and since we have the click detector one, should I make it to where you have to touch it, or?
Let's for now, let's do it so that you have to. What do you think people will like more, click or run through?
I think does anybody in the comments have a preference?
Yeah,
But I would prefer like click. I think
you
it
would like.
looks way cooler for a card game.
Okay, let's do
Yeah.
click then. Let's
Because
keep.
and also with click we can add a couple of cool effects which I'll show you.
Mm-hmm.
Um yeah. Yeah.
All right. Orb Keeper also says, "I like click. Let's go with click then. Let's disable the other one
Hmm.
where you go through it and you collect it basically, so we can just delete that code so we
Hmm.
don't have." Mm.
All right. So now we have the all three. Ooh, I didn't add a click detector inside of them, right? So I have to add. I'm duplicating the click detector here
Mm-hmm.
and dragging them in each of these.
Perfect.
And
Everything else is the
actually,
same, right? Exact same thing. It's a block, so it's everything else should be okay.
yeah. And except of calling it a glimlet card, I'm gonna call it card for
Exactly.
right
So
now.
you can copy it, right? And it's easy.
Yeah, just for naming purposes.
Right.
Yeah.
Actually, it'll work the same way, but it's like a more general way.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So now we have all three of these cards where you can,
Mm-hmm.
click them and,
Perfect.
kind of it gives the illusion of collecting them. But
Yeah.
now we have to actually send this data. So this is like one of the most important and simplest concepts in Roblox Studio,
Mm-hmm.
where we're going to send the name of the card to the output, right? We're gonna say, well, first of all, we're gonna print who collected this card, right? So
Mm-hmm.
let's go back inside one of the touch detect scripts, and inside of the click detector, it automatically gives us what player basically clicked on the object. So we add a parameter. So this is so okay, how do I explain this in the simplest way? So in Roblox, different events, they have different, outputs, inputs, parameters, and everything. For the click detector specifically, if I click, this card, it's going to store my click and the player. So basically, my player object when I click it. So when it runs this function, it's going to have my information and then it's going to run that function. And we can take advantage of that and then use this information for various things. So for example, let's say right now I go ahead and print the player name who collected this card. So all I have to do is add the print statement and then the player name. Maybe do you have any better way of explaining this? Maybe.
Um, I think we should make it work first, and then we
Mm-hmm.
can go into a little bit more of an explanation. Yeah, because this is a little bit of a higher level concept for beginners. So let's just make it work first.
All
And
right.
I'm trying to open up Roblox Studio, so maybe you can add me as a collaborator or something, and I can join you so we can demonstrate with two people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna add you. There you go.
Mm,
Hi BCD gameplay. Yeah, it was a cool game. Definitely a cool game. You should keep working on it. But All right, I'm going to go back to this and we're going to test this out. So this is for the card, I believe, Glimlet. So we're going to go ahead and test this script out. Yeah, that works. Just going to make it look a little bit cleaner. Are you able to join the game?
Actually, it's I haven't logged in here. It seems like so it's doing the verification process. This like PhD level stuff, the puzzles and everything. So I'm gonna give you another one to use because I got several accounts here. Just give me a second.
Yeah, sounds good.
Mm, okay, I think I'm in now. So you can use this one.
All
I'll
right.
send you in the private chat the username. It's
Mm-hmm.
kind of a long one. There you go.
All right. Let's see if I can. I'm going to have to add you as a friend first on
Yeah,
Roblox.
that works.
Okay, I already have you as a friend
Oh
on
yeah,
this account.
nice.
There we go. And you should be able to join in.
Mm-hmm. Shared with me. There we go. Creature cards demo.
Yes.
All right. So I can play the game here. Yes.
All right. Perfect.
So we can play together.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we can play together.
I'm in play mode now.
All right. I guess you can test it out. Okay, so how about we show people how you can collaborate with your friends and then play together, test the game out together, because people
Let's
probably don't know that yet, right?
absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good idea.
So as you saw, I added Rafid as a collaborator to this project by first of all adding him as a friend on Roblox. And then after, when I searched up his username, I was able to select it. And then after that, I'm able to give edit access or playtest access to that person. And if you don't have that player as a friend, you can still find them and then give them playtest access for your game, but not edit access.
Nice.
But anyways, after that, after you've added your friend onto the game, you can go ahead and tell them to join the game. And once they've joined, there's different options for testing here, and the ones that that allows you to play with your friend in Studio is called Team Test. So if you select it over here, and I go ahead and play it now, I'm going to join the Team Test server, and if Rafid does the same thing, he's going to be able to join me in the same game. So you have to click on Team Test and then play.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay. So I have to do that too now. A team test.
Yes, you have to do Team Test and then play.
All right. So that's a separate. Oh, there we go. Nice.
Yeah. So now we're in the same game,
So
and
I get this one.
yeah, it disappears on my screen.
And does it print my name on your output?
Oh, I only coded that for this card. So go ahead and collect this card.
Click.
Yeah.
From my side.
Wait. Let me check. Maybe I edited the script. Wait. I think it was for Glimlet. Oh. Okay, so the reason why this probably is not happening is because we're in the client side right now. and we're only able to see the client-sided. It should show the server-side print as well, but okay, I'm going to access the dev logs here. Hold on. Oops. Sorry. So, okay. So I guess I'll show this as well. If you join the game again, we can test it out. So I'm going to end this session and then join this, right? So when you're playing a game and you're the developer of a game, you're able to see the output inside of the Roblox game itself. So if I go ahead and click on settings and then scroll down to the developer console, I'm going to open it, and there's something called log over here. And if I don't touch anything, this is what it's going to open up to, right? I may want to inform everyone that Team Create is locked to 13 plus the recent age update. Yeah, there's a lot of things with the recent age update you can't update. You can't even publish a game if you're not age verified.
Yeah, exactly.
And stuff like
you
that.
can only do with connections, or you can only share with connections. Yeah.
But basically, inside of this, inside of the developer console, inside of the logs, you'll see the same things that you see in the output, but inside of the game. So let's say you're playing your own Roblox game and you don't have Roblox.
Press that now, should it show up on yours?
Well, it will. Go ahead and click the card, and there we go. The coolest gamer selected card, right?
Very nice. So this is like, I'm on a completely different location, different client, but you saw it on your side, which means this is server, not client.
Okay. Yeah, so exactly.
Tell us exactly the piece of code that you wrote that got that to work, because this is something we got to do more of before we end today.
So since I was using a click detector, the click detector automatically detects, who clicked the part or whatever object that the click detector is in, and it passes the player inside of the function, which we can then use for various things, right? So in this case, we printed the player's name, right? And what we can do is, use a remote event to send this player an update on the client side. So right now, this is all on the server, right? We can send an update to the player by using a remote event. And the player will receive that on the client side and update maybe their UI or some kind of text or some kind of data. That's how I guess every beginner would go about with this. That's one of the most important things to learn, because it's used in every Roblox game.
Okay.
But yeah. So yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so I'm just thinking, like, let's say that we are making a multiplayer game where you have 3 cards, creature cards,
right?
And you end the game when all cards are collected, and a card can be collected by clicking on it, which we already have working. And every time a card is collected on the left side of the screen, let's say, wherever is easiest, we list out, like, you collected that card, I collected this card, and you collected that card, and then done. Can we do that?
So like, let's say we have a global chat thing over here, right? So we can do that. That will require a bit more, structuring. So it's the same thing as sending a remote event. Every player receives it, and then it just shows that message over here. So let's do that really quick.
Okay.
It sounds.
Let's do the simplest implementation of it.
Yeah, the simplest implementation.
Yeah,
exactly. So I'm gonna make a new UI, right? So we're just gonna put it. Let's say we put it on the bottom here, right? Or we can put it on the center top. And then I'll add a. So this is like the chat server message. Okay, frame. And then we can just add a text label inside of it. And let's just make it 1 and we can make this, we can convert this to scale as well. So I'm gonna make this smaller for now. Okay, so what I did here was basically, okay, I gotta explain this. Hold on. So every single UI object inside of Roblox
Mm-hmm.
is put inside of Screen GUI so that we can, since this is a UI that's supposed to be on the screen, we're putting all the UI objects inside of this. And what I did here was inside of the frame, for the size, it's automatically set to pixels. And what I mean by that is, your computer screen has very tiny, tiny pixels that represent different colors. And when those colors add up, they form an image. And, those colors constantly change. And that's why you see, the moving parts inside of your screen and everything. So Roblox, by default, when you add an object, a UI object, it sets the size of that UI object by pixels. And as you may know, different devices have different, a different amount of pixels. So instead of using pixels, what I did there was I typed in 1 right here. And what this does is it automatically converts this to scale. And what is scale? It's basically the percentage of the screen. So right now it's 70% of the screen wide, like big, and 44.8% of the screen like tall. And it's like in 0.4488. I guess if you haven't learned that yet, then you can just think of it as
Yeah, it's okay.
it's
It's like a different. You know how you would say 48%. In
mhm.
this system, you would say 0.48. It's the right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's a better way to explain it.
yeah. So
So yeah, so I'm gonna carry on with making this, and
mhm,
we don't even need the server message, so I'm gonna keep it very simple. So we just add a text label on top,
mhm.
right? And then I'm going to change just one property of this text label, which is text.scaled. And to make it look a little bit better, we can just turn the background transparency to 1. And now what I'll do is when we collect the Glimlet card, um, I'm going to send a remote event from this script to everyone, and then show everyone that this player collected this card, right? Or this player just collected a card for right now.
Mhm.
So for that, I will have to add a remote event. So let's just say this is like kind of like a wire, right? This is a wire that connects one script to another script when we want it to, right?
Mhm.
So we have to turn on a button here, and then it's going to send the whatever data or anything. It's going to send it to wherever we want it to go. So in this case, it's going to be the
Um,
UI,
just
right?
gonna. Sorry to interrupt you, Jed. Just because this
Mm-hmm.
is also interesting for me. Um, is there no uh, global object that exists on the server that you can push? So like if you have an array, like a list of things, and you can
Mm-hmm.
push something like in databases, in like
Mm-hmm.
a Firebase database, if you know about it, that's one that I
Mm-hmm.
used to teach. It's
Mm-hmm.
like you have the thing and then you just push a new thing into it and then it updates the thing automatically. There's nothing similar here that's like, because I see where you're going with this, but this is already a
Mm-hmm.
little bit complicated for a lot of people. So there's no
Mm-hmm.
like global structure of database where you just go, oh, we'll just push it into a list and we'll show something from that, if you know what I mean.
Well, we could do it like how we did it yesterday with let's say attributes.
Mhm.
Um, so I mean, yeah, we can do that. It's a little bit of a tricky workaround, but I guess it would be a little bit simpler, right? So I'm
Okay,
just
well,
gonna make.
you can continue on what you were thinking, but I'm just curious, like, what would be
Mhm.
the so if you were to just thinking about building a game where some data needs to be saved, based on
Hmm.
like you got a certain number of points and I got a certain number of points, and we need to rank it like a Mario Kart type of game, let's say.
Hmm.
There is no like, I feel like there should be some global object that's easy to manipulate uh, through the
Oh,
server.
yeah, yeah,
I
yeah,
feel
yeah.
like,
So,
no?
so I guess like if we're just doing points, right? So how many
Mhm.
cards I've collected in total?
Yeah.
We can do something called, we can set up something called leader stats, right?
Okay.
And that's going to be a bit simpler to set up. So let me explain what leader stats is. Okay, so here we have, inside of the player, inside of this player's service or section, we can see that we have, these players. And if I add a folder inside of, this player, so let's say I'm going to add a folder, and I'm going to name this folder leader stats, right? And now whatever value, so let's say I add a number value, right? So I'm going to add cards collected. When I join, it's not going to work exactly. So I'm going to do this on the server right now. Hold on. Or wait. Yeah, so I'm going to have to do this inside a script. But basically, we have the player,
Mhm.
right? And we're adding a folder inside of the player. We call it leader stats. And then we add a number value called cards collected inside of
Mhm.
that leader stats
Yeah.
folder. And that's basically what we have to set up for every single player inside of
Mhm.
Roblox. And to do that, this is a little bit more. It's a little, I guess, less complex, but we can do it.
So this is basically,
Okay.
I like this because this is turning into like a discussion about how do you save data, and then how do you do it like server versus client, and how can you
Mm-hmm.
play make a multiplayer game. So we really need to figure this out, and we can make the stream about this actually, because one of the
Mm-hmm.
things that students want to do is build their own games, but they also want to include other people, and you can see their on their faces how excited they get when they have their friend joining through the iPad, or another computer or something like that. So
Mm-hmm.
definitely,
Mm-hmm.
if we can figure out today, like something
Mm-hmm.
like the fact that I clicked on something and it was showing somewhere, or even if it's
Mm-hmm.
something simple. So the leader stat thing, I think. I'm just thinking about like because Roblox has things like health and all these things that are given to you that you can manipulate. I'm just
Mm-hmm.
wondering again, I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying the same thing as before. Are there,
Mm-hmm.
and maybe I can look this up as well, but like, what's the absolute simplest way? Because I'm already seeing that if this is the way
Mm-hmm.
things are done, we're not going to be able to teach this in an easy way to people. So I'm just thinking
Mm-hmm.
like even something like um, you have one number somewhere, like a counter, like a cookie clicker that we did, and
Mm-hmm.
the fact that I'm clicking something and you're clicking something, both are going to the same server, like database, whatever, and
Mm-hmm.
that piece of information is being shown through the server to all clients at the same time. So you do a click event, and then that thing gets updated.
Mm-hmm.
So in the same way, on a website, when you go in and you add a little
Mm-hmm.
comment and I add a comment, the same database in real
Mm-hmm.
time updates and sends back to all clients that are connected. That's kind of
Mm-hmm.
what I'm thinking. The absolute simplest way that takes 10 minutes to teach maximum.
Mm-hmm. So again, like we will have to set up like some sort of communication between the server and the
Okay.
client. So in this case, since we started off by using the server scripts,
Hmm.
what we can do is either one way is to go ahead with the leader stats method, or we can do it like we did it yesterday with the attributes,
Hmm.
right? So let's say, okay, so I'm gonna delete this. I'm gonna go back here and I'm just gonna add a part, an invisible part that's floating in the air. Okay. I'm gonna anchor it. I'm gonna make it invisible. So we can just call this total cards collected. So this is going to update whenever this is the data for total cards collected, let's say, right? And like yesterday, inside of this, I'm going to add an attribute, which is going to be, total cards. And I'm going to make it a number. And then inside of the Glimlet card, I'm going to access this parts. So we have local part is equal to workspace dot, let's wait for it. And what was it called? Total cards. And then here we're going to update the value of the total cards int. So I'm going to add a over here. And then part set attribute. And then we have to get the total cards attribute and then add one to it, right? Well, first of all, we have to get the attribute. So local current point is equal to part get attribute. So now we have the current value of the data of the attribute inside of the total cards part. And then we can say final point is equal to current points plus 1. And then we can set it to final point like this. But this has a lot of flaws. This is one way to communicate between server and client. But let's say if you ignore the edge cases and the flaws or whatever, this is a little bit easier to understand.
Okay. Can we
right?
trial run it now?
Yeah. So, well, first of all, let me set up the UI
Mhm.
side as well. So I'm going to go ahead and add a script inside of the UI. So local script, and then we're going to get the total cards part. Local part is equal to total workspace, wait for child, total cards. And then we're going to access, we're going to change the UI based on the text label. So I'm going to get the text label as well. Local text label is equal to script.parent text label. And then part get attribute signal changed. And then we're going to use total cards. And then we'll connect it function to whatever. And then text label is equal to part get attribute total cards, right? So basically what I'm doing here is every time the attribute, the number inside of this part changes, we're going to change the text to reflect the number inside of that part. Okay.
A question here. Do you think it's
Yeah.
possible for us to make a little thing before that kids can implement in some way, that drag and drop from the toolbox or something, where they basically can have all the code there, and for their game specifically, if their thing is called not points or score or something, they go in a place and they change that little bit, and everything is the same, and then we basically standardize this thing of collecting something and showing that with your name in relation to all the other players simultaneously playing the game with you.
Yeah, we can definitely set up like a template where it's easier for kids to, they don't have to worry about a script that adds the folders automatically, and they can just worry about the content. So like I did with the leader stats before, which was basically instead of a script, all I'd have to do is whenever a player joins, I make this folder, call it leader stats, right? And then after that, I add some sort of value inside it. So an int value. And then we can set this up automatically and just drag and drop. And then the kids can worry about getting this folder and changing this value. And that's it. Whenever something happens inside of the server.
Okay. So
and we can use
so you would be able to set this up and demonstrate how to customize it for your own thing in a live demonstration in less than 5 minutes.
Yeah, that would be possible. Okay. Yeah.
Awesome. Then we'll do it that way. Then we can also do for people joining. By the way, we got some new viewers. We were up to 7 actually. Now we're down to 6. Welcome. If you're a little bit confused why I'm asking these questions, it's because we have a Roblox Studio camp coming up in Oslo in 1 week, actually. And both me and Jai are going to be there, and we're going to have kids as young as 8 years old as 13 years old, joining for 1 week to build games together. And we want to be able to introduce multiplayer games this time. We weren't able to do it last time. So that's why I'm asking about all this stuff, because then we can do things like, oh, play this game with me and let's collect these things, and when all of them are done, we finish the game, for example, right? So we could make
Yeah.
templates for that. They can just basically, I guess they can just maybe start a new game using the template and then kind of use that as a fork to build off of, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So I'm gonna make a template that sets up the leader stats and adds a remote
Mm.
event. So then all they have to worry about is learning how to use the methods. Like you have the touched
Yeah.
event. So the same way we're gonna set that up for people for remote events
Perfect. Okay.
that way. Yeah.
All right. So I guess this live stream took a little turn, I guess, which I think is a good thing, because I think
Hmm.
this is perhaps one of the most important things, because this is what introduces the social aspect to any game, is that your
Hmm.
relation, you yourself in relation to other people, and this is where things get fun. So I think this is super important. So I think we were able to, and I think we get the whole thing of like, if you were playing a game yourself and counting stuff, I think we know that now. So I think
Hmm.
we should end it now, actually, unless you have anything else you want to cover at the end. And the Chicken Nugget says maybe make your own plugin so you can just press a button and quick insert it. Is that a harder thing to
Yeah,
do?
we
What do you think, Jay?
that's not a harder thing to do for me. I can make a plugin for that. But um that's also kind of like I don't know how it would be for the kids, because right now installing a plugin is a whole separate thing. It's going to take a little bit of time to
Yeah.
explain how the plugins are installed, how you manage them, and then after that what happens when you click on it and stuff like that.
I think
We'd have to go around and set it up for everyone. I
exactly.
think it's better if we keep it inside of a folder
Probably, yeah.
and we just drag and drop and it automatically
I
sets
think that'll be
everything up
easy, and
for
we
the
can
kids to
also
use.
set up the game so that the game is already functioning with a couple of items, and then they can just build on it, and then they can just use
Exactly,
duplication and
yeah.
copy paste, and then yeah, I think that, because the also some insider information into like teaching and stuff. Basically, you want to spend as little time as possible kids watching you how to do things. You want to do that as little as possible, but you want to give them the most amount of things possible so that they can do things on their own. So, for example, in the beginning, in my 1 hour long course, even though the course is 1 hour, that by itself can keep kids busy for 2 whole days, because you got like, yeah, oh, I can do this. I'll make a super long obby and recreate everything, and you know. So that's what you want. You don't really want people watching stuff. So I'm just trying to kind of make it so, because a 9 year old is not going to understand any of this in 1 week, especially like, even
Yeah, yeah,
i'm
yeah.
i'm much older than 9, and I don't think even I understand it yet fully. So so we have to kind of strike a good balance of designing it so that it yeah, strikes a good balance between all the different things that we want them to know, and they can just get good practice sitting on the computer, because they're all iPad kids, right? Sitting on the computer, learning how to use the mouse and keyboard, and getting so yeah. But I think this is looking good. I'm getting quite a few ideas for games that we can do here. You can also do
Hmm.
like, how hard would it be to make a game like a Mario Kart type of game, where you kind of build out the whole like path, I guess, or racetrack, and then you do like
Hmm.
um, coin collection, and then you just like time it so that you go around a circle, race path, and then
Hmm.
when you go past a line, then you kind of have stopped or won the game, I guess, and then you go like first, second, third, for example.
Well, well, in this, it's like there's like several systems involved,
Hmm.
right? So we have the coin collection thing, and then we have to make it so that the coin collection works. So you store the coin, for the individual
Hmm.
players, and then we have the timer kind of thing where you have the start and for the racetrack. So I guess the really basic version of this could be you start, you step on something and it starts a timer, and then you have to step on another part to end the timer, and then you make a path, and you can make obby obstacles in between, and that way we have a we have something that, you know, that can time
Mm.
you when you start an hobby. So I guess that's where we can start from, and then obviously from there we can implement the uh the communication server thing, so we can store the best times using the template that we just discussed, and something like that could work, I think. And then coin collection could be a separate thing, just like collecting cards. It would be the same thing, and you know, the same template, and you can go ahead and store that as
Yeah, you
well,
were already talking about
right?
this, right, for the camp last time too. Like
Mm-hmm.
templates like
Yeah,
this, yeah.
yeah,
I think now that
yeah.
I understand more of this, it would make sense. I think also we could do like 2 days, 3 days of the basics, and everyone gets up to speed and they understand the basics and they get used to using a keyboard and mouse and things like that. That takes a while for people to get used to.
Mm-hmm.
And then maybe we could do like sessions, workshops, so that you literally like build out the system and they see how you do it, and then you save it, and then you
Mm-hmm.
make it available for them after a break, so now they can actually build off of what you did, but you also have kind of explained it a little bit, you know. So we
Mm-hmm.
could do it that
Yeah,
way. In that
yeah.
way you don't have to prepare it that much before, as long as you know it a little bit before. We start the day with it, and then like 3 hours of this, and then another 3 hours of that later. That could also be a way to do it, and
Mm-hmm.
we can talk more about it after. But
Yeah.
people are still sticking around. I guess maybe this is an interesting discussion for
Mm-hmm.
people. Thank you so much for all of you that joined today on this Sunday late live stream, for me at least. Jay, always a pleasure, and I always learn a lot with the because I'm also still a beginner. And thank you
Mm-hmm.
for everyone that commented, Chicken Nugget, BCD, all the other people as well, that Orb and Vibes in earlier. So that's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope it was useful, and you learned something from it. And yeah, that's it for today. So yeah, I think
All
we're
right.
gonna end it
Thank you, guys.
today, and have a
Mm-hmm.
good one. And yes, until next time. See ya.